Hello everyone, I'm John Chlebek and thank you for joining me for some Ply Time. Plywood training video brought to you by Aetna Building Solutions. In the last two training videos, we've been talking about domestic hardwood plywood, and I like to wrap that up with one more session on hardwood plywood. Today, I'd like to talk about the 4 different cuts of veneer that are available for us to put on the face and back of the panels. They are rotary cut, plain sliced, rift, and quartered cut. These 4 cuts make up the majority of all the different ways we can get our hardwood veneers. Rotary cut is the most popular, making up at least 50% or more of all the veneer production. The main reason for that is the least costly to produce. You get more yield out of a log when you rotary cut than any of the other cuts that are available. When you rotary cut, it's best to think about it as peeling toilet paper off of a roll. As you spin the roll, the toilet paper comes off. The same thing with the log. It is on a spindle, the knife is on that spindle, and the veneer comes peeling off the log. It utilizes the log better than any of the other cuts, and for that reason is the most economical and the best price point. Rotary cut can come in 2 different ways to splice the veneers onto the face. A spliced face, meaning the veneers that are 4 to maybe 10 inches wide, are edge glued together to make a 48-inch wide piece of veneer. Whole piece face means the whole veneer is 48 inches wide and there are no splice lines. It comes off the log as 48 inches instead of something like 4 to 10 inches wide with a spliced face. There are basically 3 main species that are rotary cut, and they are red oak, birch, and maple. The next cut, plain sliced, is a more of a pattern pleasing look, and it has cathedrals in it that come to a point at the top and widen as you go to the bottom of the panel. This is used for more high-end cabinetry, architectural work, and commercial jobs. The next 2 cuts are rift and quartered. They're both going to give you a straight grain look. Rift cut only happens in red oak and white oak. Quarter cut can happen in all the species, at least all the main species. But when you quarter cut red oak and white oak, you get flaking that happens in the grain. And that kind of gives it a 3D look where things pop out of the veneer. One of those 4 cuts needs to be in our product description at all times. So let's review what we've learned in the last few videos and talk about the product description. First of all, we need a size. Is it 3/4 inch thick or 1/2 inch thick? Is it 4x8 or 4x10? Next, we need a grade, face and back grade. So is it an A1 or is it possibly a B4? Then we need to know the cut, rotary, plain sliced, rift, or quartered. Then we also have to fully describe the back of the veneer. Is it rotary cut, plain sliced, rift, or quartered? It does not have to always be the same as the face. We also need to know which veneer is on the back. It does not always have to be the same veneer that is on the face. If there is any other special features, such as pre-finished UV or other characteristics we need to describe to make sure the customer gets what they are looking to purchase. And lastly, we need to describe the core. Is it veneer core, MDF, particle board, or a combination core? Let's quickly refer to the description that is on the computer. This is a 3/4 inch panel that is 48.5 inches wide by 120.5 inches long and a 1 quartered walnut face with a rotary cut sap whole piece face maple back veneer. Lastly, that back veneer is a UV back, so that's an added description, and it's on a veneer core. I have included one more training video that Timber Product put out in a 3-part training video session, and this is the last of them. Thank you, and have yourself a great week.
I'm Mark Herbert from Timber Products. Today we will continue with the process of creating hardwood plywood. We will pick up our production process back in our hardwood plywood mill in Medford, Oregon. The dried softwood veneer that was produced in our last video will now be taken to the glue spreaders at the layup lines. The glue spreader has 2 roller bars, which constantly have glue pumped and applied to the surface of the roller. One employee feeds the softwood veneer through the roller bars, and glue is applied to both sides of the veneer. On the other side, an employee catches the veneer as it comes out of the spreader, and two other employees behind them place another sheet of veneer on top. It is important that the grain of the veneer is oriented in 90 degrees from the veneer above or below in an alternating pattern. This is what gives plywood a uniform strength throughout the panel. Once the correct number of layers or plies of veneer have been glued to make a desired thickness, two sheets of decorative hardwood veneer are placed on top, which ends the panel construction below and begins the next panel on top. This unit of panel constructions then moves along the line to the cold or pre-press. This press applies pressure to the entire unit of panels in order to make them easier to handle as they move to the next machine center. As the pre-press releases, the unit of panels moves to the hot press. The hot press uses steam to heat up metal plates called platens. The platens are heated to more than 250 degrees. The press has 30 openings in which an individual panel will be loaded. After all the panels are loaded into the hot press, the operators close the press. A combination of heat and pressure are needed to properly cure the glue in the panel. Once the core of the panels reach the temperature required to cure the glue, the press is opened and unloaded with sweeping arm bars. Now we can follow the plywood panels onto a number of different machine centers, which prepare them to be shipped to our customers. One machine center is the putty line. Plywood panels that have open defects on the face or back veneers come here to have putty applied to them. This putty fills in the defect and creates an even surface for our sanding machine further along in the process. Next, we will follow a unit of plywood to our finishing saw. This machine sends the panel through a series of saws in order to create a square edge along all four sides of the panel. The panel then moves to our sanding machine. This machine runs the panels through fine grit sanding belts, creating a smooth surface on the face, back, and edges of the panel. Here the sander operator watches for any defects that may have been missed by the sanding belts and will move those panels to a stack that needs resanding. The panels that meet our specifications will move to the banding station. This is where all the required packaging and plastic bands are wrapped around the unit of plywood to prepare it to be shipped out. From here, the unit will be stored until the appropriate mode of transportation arrives to pick up the unit and deliver it to our customers. At our Medford plywood facility, we are able to ship products out via truck or rail. Thank you for following along the entire process of turning a log into a sheet of plywood. If you would like to learn more about timber products or the products we offer, please visit us at timberproducts.com. Thanks again.